Okay, let's dive right into this incredibly fun explainer about an overpowered hero whose absolute greatest weapon is literally just a watering can. Welcome to the story of a guy who just wanted to farm, but kind of accidentally flipped the fate of the entire world totally upside down. So, what actually happens when the ultimate demon queen meets a hero who just wants to farm? Well, we're looking at a total inversion of the classic hero's journey here. You know the drill. Usually, the hero traverses the globe to defeat the villain, right? But here, the world-conquering villain actually comes to the hero's house, fully expecting this epic battle, only to get completely derailed by domestic life. The contrast between these two is just massive. On one side, we have Elizabeth. She's the most ruthless demon queen in history, out to absolutely crush the prophecy. And on the other side, we've got our legendary hero, Li Ping, who is basically just an ordinary reincarnated guy. His grand ambition? To plant potatoes. Seriously. And this hilarious dramatic irony, it's the engine that drives the whole story. Let's look at how this plays out. Year 1, the prophecy of the hero's arrival drops, and Elizabeth is ready. Year 5, she's still just waiting in her castle. Year 15, humanity has literally given up waiting. I mean, everyone is just living peacefully because there's no war. And why? Because Li Ping simply ignored his destiny to be a hero. He opted to stay in his protected beginner village and farm. This hilarious 15-year gap forces a deeply frustrated Elizabeth to march down and pull the prophesied hero's sword from the stone herself, literally just so she can track him down. Part 1. The Demon Queen submits. So Elizabeth finally locates the farm, powers up her ultimate, continent-destroying attack, and, well, she doesn't even get to fight the hero. Instead, she faces one Kai. That's Li Ping's mechanical god-tier robot dog. The dog effortlessly calculates her power, shoots a literal black hole, and just eats her magic. The greatest demon queen in history faints from pure exhaustion, and Li Ping hasn't even lifted a single finger. The real fun starts when she wakes up. The miscommunication here is absolutely top tier. Li Ping takes off her handcuffs and says he wants to be friends, hoping to avoid any conflict. But Elizabeth's paranoia kicks into overdrive. She thinks, oh, he's mocking me, he's showing total dominance. This comedic misunderstanding plagues their entire roommate dynamic. He's absolutely terrified of her, and she is 100% convinced he's this arrogant, manipulative mastermind. Part 2. The Accidental Power-Ups. See, this builds into an accidental, overpowered, slice-of-life adventure, because it's not just the dog that's OP, it's literally everything Li Ping creates. Think about his daily menu. Because Li Ping has been maxing out his farming skills in a time-altered zone for 15 years, his normal food is completely absurd. His cooked meat causes explosive magic energy in Elizabeth, instantly evolving her. A simple cup of tea given to an injured adventurer and his daughter, it causes them to instantly transcend, even awakening dormant elf blood. Even his potatoes are so packed with calorie-dense magical power that Elizabeth has to actively burn them off just to avoid getting lazy. He is accidentally leveling up everyone around him with lunch. Part 3. The Dungeon Raid Betrayal. So what happens when they finally leave the farm? Well, they get roped into a treasure hunt by a charming but incredibly treacherous centaur knight. During the dungeon's magic orb test, the dramatic irony is just off the charts. The centaur boasts a massive score of 8,769. Elizabeth, trying to blend in, fakes hers to be exactly 1 point lower. And Li Ping? A literal 0. He shows absolutely no magic potential. The centaur thinks he's the alpha, completely oblivious to the fact that the weakest guy in the room is actually the prophesied hero. As they traverse the dungeon, the centaur's team starts struggling, so Li Ping innocently shares a hybrid banana he grew. The result? A bizarre, hilarious illusion where the warriors start dancing the samba, completely oblivious to reality, while their magic levels instantly skyrocket. Li Ping's farming skills strike again, basically turning a dangerous dungeon crawl into a tropical dance party. But things take a super dark turn here. The centaur betrays the group, consumes the Demon King's chalice to gain terrifying demonic power, and brutally attacks Li Ping, basically crushing him into the ground. So did the centaur just defeat the legendary hero? Is this the end for our overpowered farmer? Well, not quite. As the centaur gloats, an actual golden dragon emerges from the shadows and instantly crushes him. Then Elizabeth calmly drops this incredibly cold line. Using your tail to pet, I used to play with you like that too. The supposed final boss of this terrifying dungeon? It's literally just Amelia, Elizabeth's old pet dragon from 500 years ago. The entire dungeon was just her pet's sandbox. Crazy, right? Part 4. The Black Guild Threat. Now, while our hero has been happily farming, a sinister organization known as the Black Guild has been emerging in the shadows. They're hunting elves and trying to resurrect the Demon Queen, completely oblivious to the fact that she's currently eating pudding on a farm. Their actions trigger some incredible character development, though. Meet Anne. She's an orphan girl who awakens the Jinn bloodline. This is a violently powerful demon lineage that Elizabeth actually sealed away 600 years ago. To protect her friends from the Black Guild, Anne undergoes an epic demonic awakening, using her new powers to summon giant, deadly, weaponized plushies. It's a tragic backstory turned into an absolutely awesome display of power. And when the Black Guild directly attacks Li Ping using a terrifying clown controlling zombie elves, oh boy, they severely underestimate his crafting skills. Li Ping pulls out a chainsaw he built. Yes, a literal chainsaw. Because of his maxed out production stats, his clothes reflect 100% of damage, and his chainsaw deals true damage, effortlessly reflecting attacks right back at the Black Guild's clown. It's where fast-paced action meets completely absurd farming tools. But the Black Guild is a terrifying, rapidly escalating threat. Just to put it into perspective, the legendary sword saint Chi-Chi faces off against the Black Guild's Axe Elder. Despite invoking the protection of 7 sword guards, she is sliced down in exactly 0.05 seconds. The villains are getting exponentially stronger, really setting the stage for a massive conflict. Seeing this massive threat, Li Ping decides he finally needs to train. And here we go again with the hilarious roommate dynamic. Li Ping genuinely thinks, I must learn pure swordsmanship to save the world. He wants to train with Alpha, the spirit of the legendary sword. But Elizabeth, she completely misreads the room and assumes he's pretending to be weak to manipulate me. She is absolutely convinced his terrible swordsmanship is a complex, terrifying psychological game designed specifically to test her limits. So, Li Ping starts practicing some simple Tai Chi he remembers from his past life. He calmly recites, 9th movement, meteors striking the moon. And because his internal stats are so massively broken, this supposedly harmless practice accidentally summons a literal meteor shower and a giant moon that completely alters the entire landscape. It utterly terrifies both the sword spirit and Elizabeth, who has to go into full demon mode just to survive his morning workout routine. No way, right? Part 5. A Pudding for Peace. So, how does all this overwhelming power and constant misunderstanding finally settle down? 1 year. Despite the apocalyptic threats outside, the Black Guild, and the endless misunderstandings, Li Ping and Elizabeth have lived together on this farm for exactly 1 year. It's a major milestone that forces them to actually confront what they mean to each other. Elizabeth, who is super frustrated and confused by her own feelings at this point, demands to know what Li Ping thinks of her. And he gives this incredibly simple, heartwarming confession. He likes that she enjoys his cooking. He likes that they explore the world together. And he appreciates that she protects him from danger. It's a pure, honest admission that completely disarms her grand plans for world domination. He wraps up the whole narrative with a sweet slice-of-life moment over dessert. He tells her, I made pudding. I'm really happy about the year we spent together. This simple act of kindness, this shared dessert, effectively stops a global war. The Demon Queen realizes that, hey, maybe this peaceful life isn't so bad after all. Which leaves us with this final, provocative question, who really conquered who? Did the legendary hero defeat the Demon Queen with a sword? Or did a simple farmer domesticate the world's most terrifying villain with kindness, a robot dog, and some really good food? It's a fascinating twist on the genre, showing that sometimes the absolute most overpowered weapon is just a peaceful life. Definitely something to think about the next time you boot up a farming simulator.